Greetings everyone. I, Dr. Shruti Mathur, Assistant Professor of Commerce and Management Department, welcome you all to the YouTube channel of Lucky Institute of Professional Studies. In today's presentation, we will discuss and learn what the organization behavior is and what the theory is all about. Let's start. Here you can see in this slide, there are two terms, organization and behavior. Firstly, we will start with the organization general meaning. When two or more people working jointly, working together to achieve a specific goal and specific objectives. Clear? In this organization, what we include the roles, authorized roles and responsibilities, coordination of activities, right? Shared goals, hierarchy of structure, and the coordination of working together. For an example, like schools, companies, government staff, government bodies, and so on. And if we will talk about the behavior, what behavior? The action and reaction of an individual and a group which is affected by the organization. एक ऐसा action और behavior जो कि organization को affect करता है, which is called behavior. Behavior in the sense, in behavior what we include? Your work habit, your motivations, your beliefs, your values and so on. But when we merge both of the term like organization and behavior, which you can see in the other slide, refers to the study of how individual, groups and structure are affected by the behavior. All the things are coming together, which means to say individual का action, reaction, structure जो पूरी तरीके से एक organization के behave को affect करता है, which is called organization and behavior. Clear? Now move on. There are two terms, overt culture or overt behavior and covert behavior. There are two terms which is categorized by the behavior. Overt culture or overt behavior, which is profusely and effectively shown by the others, which is observable, which you can see. Like for an example, in an organization, an employee sitting in between group or in a meeting or a committee, he is shouting in the anger. So every organization people can see that particular person that he is very shouting and anger. So you can hear and see that employee, which is called overt culture. Covert culture, which is very hidden, which is not observable, which is not seen very easily. Like for an example, your motivation, your inner feeling, your beliefs and values. So there are two terms which is categorized by the organization behavior. These are the perfect task of a behavior. Clear? Move on. Okay, this slide shows that organization, history of organizational behavior and theory. What is the theory all about? Firstly, we will understand what is the theory mean. Theory means when two or more people are working together, right? When two or more people are working together, then the less work and less time and less effort will be there. But when the individual is working alone, what we will see, the more time as compared to the other one, more time and more effort will be go in the companies. Now, we can see the classical theory. First theory is classical theory. What classical theory is? Classical theory is developed in the first of 20th century. It has been generated at the time of Industrial Revolution. When the Industrial Revolution has come, what we have done, we shifted from man-made items to the machines. And when we shifted to the machines, what we were need for? We were need for the skilled staff, right? We were need for the proper structure and hierarchy. We were need the proper technology so that every person can operate the machines for the same. And this theory focuses on the formal organization and efficiency. But of course, when the machines were working properly, what we have done, we will do the more productivity in very effectively and profusely manner. Viewed organization, that time the traditional theory, what organization were doing, they were the organization as a machine and human being as a part of a machine. पर्टिकुलरली उस टाइम पे क्या होता था, जितने भी जना काम करते थे, जितने भी एम्प्लॉइज वहां काम करते थे, वो ह्यूमन बींग्स को पार्ट ऑफ अ मशीन कंसिडर करते थे. इट मीन्स टू से more work and more productivity. You are considering people as a part of a machine. This is called classical theory. These are the basic elements: division of labor, scalar chain and functional process, coordination, structure, departmentalization and span of control. Here we can say that division of labor, that you are divided the work according to the specific or specialized task. Clear? Scalar chain, that you are follow the order and command through the top level of management, middle level of management and lower level of the management. Coordination, of course, you are maintaining proper harmony in between managers and supervisors, supervisors to laborers, laborers to worker in all the levels. Structure, proper structure, of course, proper authority, proper hierarchy you are maintaining. Departmentalization, different department on the basis of their specialized work. Like for an example, we can take an example of any university and any college. Every department divided, like IT department, HR department, finance department and so on. Similarly, in the organization, there are different departments on the specific work: IT, finance, HR, procurement, sales and distribution, marketing and so on. So these are the 6 elements of classical theory. Move on to the next slides. The classical theory assumptions based on the rational one. These are the parts. Classical approach is divided again: scientific approach, administrative principle and bureaucratic organization. Scientific management of theory has been given by Taylor. Administrative theory has been given by Henry Fayol, and the bureaucratic theory has been given by Max Weber. What are all these parts of classical theory? Let's start. Scientific theory has been given by Frederick W. Taylor, William Taylor. What he said, that scientific theory has been focuses on the increasing efficiency through scientific analysis of work. What he said, what he meant to say, that any of the performance, any of the task and any of the work should not be working at your own. You have to bring any of the scientific method to work on the collective manner. Clear? You can't do the work in only guest based method or any of the traditional method. You have to bring any scientific method so that further you can analyze your work. Standardization and training. Through trained employees, you can do your performance. What is the aim? Find out. This is the very important. What was the aim of scientific method which Taylor has been giving? The aim of this method is one best way. कोई एक सिंगल तरीका काम करने के लिए. आप किसी भी काम को किसी भी तरह नहीं कर सकते. What you have to do is you have to find the one best manner to perform a particular task. This is called scientific theory, which has been given by Taylor. Secondly, we'll move on. Principles of. He has been given some of the principles related to scientific management. First, science, not rule or thumb. Again, as I mentioned before, what you have to do, you have to bring scientific methods. You can't do your work or performance or any traditional method or any guest based method or any other method, right? Secondly, harmony, not discord. Harmony, again, you make a coordination between employee, workers and so on. Cooperation, not individual. Not individual means here you can't work individually. You can't see the profit of individually. You can't take everything in your pocket and move on. What you have to do is you have to see your organization goal and objectives and work with the coordination. Next, develop of each person to his greatest efficiency and prosperity, means to say what you have to do, you are not supposed to work or on your profit. What you have to see, you have to see the first organizational goals, perspective, vision and mission. Efficiency and prosperity means like you are working for the organization only. You are not supposed to fulfill your personal goals and so on. Move on. The second is administrative theory, part of a classical theory, right? What which has been given by Henry Fayol. What he said, Focus on the functioning and principle of management to improve organizational efficiency. He said that you have to bring all the management functions together, like planning, organizing. He is the Henry Fuel, you can see that. Move on. These are the key functions which he has given: planning, organizing, commanding, coordinating, and controlling. Where planning, that you are setting the goals and objectives very effectively and profusely. Again, organizing, arranging all the goals and objectives and resources to implementing the particular plan. Commanding, that any of the employee command in a proper manner, ordering and instructing in a proper manner, effective manner. Coordinating, ensuring all the activities working together. And at the last, controlling, that you are evaluating your performance or taking feedback or any observation or interviews or any other resources. Now, these are the 14 principles. You can even take the screenshot of it. Division of work, authority, responsibility, as we mentioned before, discipline, unity of command, direction, subordination of individual interest, remuneration, centralization, scalar chain, as I mentioned before, that you are maintaining authority or responsibility or following the instructions from top, middle and lower level. Order, equity, that you are considering every employee at the equal level. Stability, initiative, asperitic crops. Here asperitic crops means that you are making a unity. Union in strength is called asperitic crops. Move on to the bureaucratic theory. When we finished the administrative theory, we mentioned scientific theory. What these theory all about, we already learned. Now this is the last part of bureaucratic theory of classical theory. Bureaucratic theory means very rigid rules and regulations. Very rigidly, very strictly you are following each and everything in an organization. You should not be lenient to take actions or decisions at your own, which has been given by Max Weber. He is Max Weber. Define clearly hierarchy, formal rules and impersonality, right? In bureaucratic organization, everyone is treated equally on the depend of your division of labor, right? Everyone, which is clearly described for each employee. When authority and employees you are giving, so the goals should be, the roles, the goals and responsibilities should be clearly defined for every employee very strictly, which is called bureaucratic theory. Now, move on to the neoclassical theory. Very general theory. Classical theory was old and traditional, right? Ab now neoclassical, which is based on the human relations. What it says? Employee satisfaction and group dynamics. Generally, neoclassical theory was based, it was already said that the satisfaction or the job satisfaction level of every employee. Human relations maintained should be very strictly, right? It recognized that people are not just machine. In the classical theory, what we read, that machines, human being was at the part of the machine, but in neoclassical theory, it recognized that people are not just machine, but social beings with emotions and need. They are working on the particular emotions, they are having some beliefs, they are having some values, they are having some emotions, which is called neoclassical theory. Move on to the modern theory. What is modern theory? Okay, in neoclassical theory, I forgot to tell what it includes. It includes leadership, it includes again coordination, right? It includes work and specification, which is focus on the human behavior. It definitely includes communication, informal and formal organization, right? In modern theory, what modern theory says? It is a system approach or contingency approach. System approach, that all the organization are working as in surrounding, right? All the units are working collectively. All the departments are working jointly. Clear? What this focus on? Focus on the integration of people, technology and environment. There are two environments, external environment and internal environment. Sometimes, often, organization are interact with the external environment. External environment are legal compliances, rules and regulations by the government, right? And an internal, what internal? here we can say there is an economic aspect, government policies, right? And you can say in the internal aspect, there are the employees which are working together, there are the new policies and rules of the organization. So organization can affect by the both of the term, internal as well as external, and developed during 1950s till present. This is called modern theory of management. System approach, we can see the organization is a system made up of interrelated parts. As I mentioned before, the departments, people and processes, internal and external. It is a contingency approach, like no single best way to manage. Management depends on the situation of the contingency, like environment, technology and people. Open system and closed system. There are two systems again. Organizations are not isolated. As I told you earlier, this affected by both of the terms, internal and external. They interact with the external environment like customers, suppliers, warehouses, आपकी government policies, आपके competitors, अपनी economic conditions, आपकी legal compliances, everything. Integration of technology and people, emphasis the role of modern technology, innovation or human capital in success. Nowadays, if we talk about today's scenario, the technology is very fast. Every machine is working very, very effectively and productively. So modern theory approach says that you are interacted with both of the environment, which is internal and external. Moving to the next slide, which is thank you everyone to listen me, and please wait for the next video.